would a worst-case accident scenario impact BNSF and Berkshire Hathaway, and what exposure does Berkshire have should a major accident occur?
Yeah. Well, we're on both sides of that because Ajit has offered the rail industry some very high limits to all the major railroads, but they don't like his price, presumably. And I would say this, the four major railroads really have the financial capacity to pay a huge award if something really terrible happened. The most, I don't know which is the most dangerous. They have what they call hazmat, hazardous materials, and rails have to carry them. You're a common carrier, you're forced to carry them. And the railroads would really prefer they didn't carry them, but they do, they have to. And they probably can't get enough, ever get enough, in the way of payments per carload to really compensate them for the risk involved. But the four major railroads certainly have, it might be a very, very significant financial hit to them, but I think they have the capability of, if something really drastic happened, I think they do have the financial capability to handle that kind of an award. And if they feel that they don't, they can buy insurance from Ajit, but so far we haven't sold any. The companies have insurance, but they're not going to talk about the amounts they have or anything of the sort, because that becomes a honeypot sometimes, and it's not advisable to discuss your insurance limits publicly. But it is true, as the writer mentions, that the nuclear risk, the government decided was too big, as they have with terrorism, decided was too big to be borne by private industry. I don't think the consequences of any conceivable accident, you could probably dream up one, but of any conceivable accident on rails would go beyond the capability of the major railroads to pay. But it could be very, very large relative to their net worth and relative to their current earnings. Charlie?
Yeah, the big surprise for everyone, of course, was British Petroleum.
Yeah.
Nobody in their wildest dreams believed that a major oil company from an accident in one well would have a loss in so many tens of billions of dollars. And of course that's gotten a lot of attention. I don't know about Warren, but after that happened I would have less enthusiasm for drilling in the Gulf. It was just such a big loss compared to anything.
Any gain, possible gain.
Any possible gain. And that was a big oil field they tapped into, but it wouldn't remotely pay for this accident. And so, but Matt will know the biggest rail accident in the history of the rails, has it cost $200 million? Is Matt there?
I don't think Norfolk Southern has ever announced what that accident cost, but we are not getting paid enough, I can tell you this, for carrying chlorine or ammonia or something like that. I mean, it just, to buy appropriate insurance just to cover those kind of products compared to the revenue, I don't think it ever would make sense. But we're required, they're going to move from one place to another one way or another, either by truck or in some manner, and we are a common carrier. But that's not one that keeps me awake nights from a financial standpoint. The big risk is some form of very effective terrorism or action by a rogue state in terms of nuclear, chemical, biological, or cyber. And war acts are excluded in insurance policies, but you could have some kind of a terrorist act that would create damages, whether they're liable under insurance contracts, another matter, but could create damages like we have never seen. And there's a there's obviously a reasonable probability of that happening sometime in the next 50 years, and what that probability is, I don't know, but it's not insignificant. Charlie?
Well, we saw what one pilot could do recently in this Malaysian airplane. I think we live in a world where there are always going to be big events, and I think we're lucky to some extent that we have some big corporations that can have elaborate safety programs and that can handle the losses when they occur. I don't think we'd be better off if we had a bunch of little flippers going around in the airplanes.